Lamar Odom, Kevin Love, and Chris Webber. Those are three players that I think Pascal Siakam can reach in terms of their skill set, or take a little pieces of their game and include it into his game. Now, the first person that I think Pascal Siakam can take from or play to a potential is Lamar Odom. Now, if we look at the stats, Lamar Odom doesn't show that he's been the go-to guy, but that's because he's played a lot with the Lakers and the Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol type players on his teams. So Lamar Odom was more so a distributor and a rebounder. He also poured in some points here and there as well. So in terms of Pascal Siakam, he obviously has surpassed him in terms of production level. But what Pascal Siakam can take from Lamar Odom is his ability to make shots on the go, but also his ball handling skills. A lot of the times, Phil Jackson used him as a power forward, or point forward, I should say, similar to how Scottie Pippen used to play, and that's how they modeled his game after. And so I think Pascal Siakam can add that ball handling skills. And Lamar Odom was doing a lot of similar things that Pascal Siakam is doing right now anyways, in terms of attacking the basket and making his presence felt in the paint. Lamar Odom is probably like an inch taller than Siakam, or that's what they list him as. But Lamar Odom, like it shows you here, he has a lot of the ball handling skills and his ability to see players in the paint and make good passes, similar to what you see in these highlights here. He's able to bring up the ball. People forget how good Lamar Odom was. Another player that I think Siakam can take from is Kevin Love. Now, Kevin Love was more so a force as part of the Timberwolves versus when he went to the Cavs and he joined LeBron and Kyrie. But with Kevin Love, the things that Siakam can take from is his inside presence and his forcefulness in the paint. Now, Kevin Love was more so a scorer and a rebounder. He averaged 12 rebounds a game, which is something that Siakam is not there. But Kevin Love had that shot in Minnesota as part of the Minnesota Timberwolves. As you can see from this highlight here, he has the jump shot that I would like to see Pascal Siakam develop in the offseason, something that helps him in terms of allowing the defense to respect him from the paint, from outside of the paint, going into the paint, and then also just making himself present in terms of rebounding. As you can see, Kevin Love was a beast in Minnesota as a rebounder, but that's because he needed to be that presence, and Minnesota actually relied on him to be the second coming of Kevin Garnett, and I think that was like the pressure that he had there. But Kevin Love was a force inside, and then he developed his game to be more of a jump shot shooter, a spot-up shooter in terms of the three-point line and things like that. So Siakam can benefit from watching these highlights. He's actually listed at 6'8", Kevin Love is. So that's similar to what Pascal Siakam was, but he's a lot heavier. Now, the third person, and this is the person that, honestly, if he gets to this level, then he'll be an all-star every single year, is Chris Webber. Chris Webber averaged 24, 11, and 5. You can see that he has similar statistics to what Siakam was averaging this past offseason, or this past season. And Chris Webber had that jump shot. See, he's shooting from a range that he has the defense respecting him, and then he attacks the basket right after. That's something if Siakam develops in his game, he'll become a monster in that sense. And you can see here, Chris Webber was an all-star as part of the Sacramento Kings, and a lot of these highlights are from the time that he spent in Sacramento. But he was always like this. He had this type of game, and he had that jump shot, and he allowed his game to develop in terms of making the defense respect his jump shot, but also his inside presence. Siakam plays similar to Chris Webber, as you can see from these highlights, and you'll see how Siakam is similar in that sense. But that's where I want to see Siakam develop his jump shot and his ball handling skills from Lamar Odom, and the Kevin Love presence in terms of rebounding as well. And if Siakam develops all those aspects of his game, including his court vision, because as you saw from this season that Van Vliet was gassed and he needed somebody to also handle the ball. And Siakam, in these highlights here, you can see that a lot of the players that were defending him were giving him the space, and you can see it here. So a lot of times the guys were backing off Siakam, and this is where he can use that jump shot just to let the defense respect him from the outside. and then it allows him to go inside at any point in time, right? Siakam was a beast during this season. He has a lot to develop, but he also is on the right track. So with the Raptors organization, I don't see why he can't develop this part of his game. And let's just hope that he becomes a player that we want him to be so that he can be a force year in and year out. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Check out the other videos on this channel and let me know who you think Siakam plays most like.